All right, back on Sports Betting Insight today. Paulie and Teddy, big game breakdown. Monday Night Football is always live on sportsbookreview.com. Vikings at home against the Giants. Vikings 4.5. 43 the total. The new U.S. Bank Stadium was rocking for the Sunday night game against the Packers. And again, Monday night, prime time, those fans are going to be tanked up and ready to go and liquored up with the tailgate. And this defense is a Super Bowl defense with Minnesota, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about this home field right now, when Seattle had the 12th man going, and that was the toughest home field in the NFL. There was a good couple of years where the Seahawks, you just wouldn't bet against them at home because they were rolling teams. Well, Minnesota's decibel record was blowing anything away in that opener against the Packers. I expect we'll see more of the same tonight. But, you know, you talk about that defense. I mean, this point spread is based a lot on turnovers. All right. The Vikings, number one in the NFL, +8 turnover margin. Their defense has been covering point spreads the first 3 weeks of the season, and they've done it. You know, they have the 31st ranked offense with Sam Bradford behind center. They're not moving the ball up and down the field. They only have 51 rushing yards per game. That's dead last in the NFL. They've got problems with the offensive line. Hasn't been very good so far this season. The only receiver that's shown any game-breaking ability has been Stephon Diggs. It's not like they're loaded with playmakers all over the field for Minnesota. But the defense has been good enough to force turnovers and wreak havoc on opposing offenses. The Giants, they're number 31 in turnover margin, -6 coming into the game. And when you talk about one team +8, the other team -6 through only 3 games, that is a huge impact on the scoreboard results. And the fact that the Giants are 2-1 right now compared to Minnesota's 3-0 is impressive, giving that negative turnover margin.
Yep. What do you think of this Giants defense? Because they were terrific to start, but then they had that collapse against the Redskins at home last week.
Well, I mean, the Redskins can move the football up and down the field. We've seen that now on multiple occasions. I don't dismiss the Giants defense as being a subpar unit because Kirk Cousins had a pretty good game against them last week. Look at the stats because the numbers don't lie here. The Giants entered the weekend plus 1.2 yards per play differential. That's number one in the NFL. They shut down Drew Brees and the Saints offense on this field the week before Kirk Cousins picked them apart. So it's not like the Giants defense is this miserable stop unit. Nothing like it was a season ago. Interesting enough, again, we talk about the scoreboard results. We talk about the turnover margin. Points per game, the most basic metrics. You know, Vikings are number 20, Giants are number 21. You know, they're right there, both averaging, you know, the Vikings 21.3 points per game, the Giants 21 points per game. They won, the Vikings won 2 road games where the offense only scored 1 touchdown in 8 quarters because of that defense. Whereas, you know, the Giants moving the ball up and down the field, but they haven't been able to turn all of those yards and the advantage in their yards per play differential into points.
That's big problem there. 5 touchdowns in 3 games, and they went against average defenses in the Cowboys. Well, the Saints are horrible. The Cowboys, Saints, and Redskins. So that's a problem, big problem, because you're going against a top defense coming up on the road.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we compare the Vikings defense to the 2 that they just faced, the Saints and the Redskins, there's no comparison. You know, I mean, but New Orleans, a bottom 5 defense in the NFL by any metric. I believe the Redskins are right there with them, especially given all the injuries that they've suffered over the last couple of weeks. And look, I mean, Manning's thrown for over 900 yards. You know, OBJ is 280 receiving yards. Shepard's 233. Cruz is a $195. You know, they're marching the ball up and down the field, but they're not putting it in the red zone. Whereas in the end zone. Whereas Minnesota, again, they rank 31st in total offense right now, but part of that is the fact that they've had all of these short fields because the defense keeps on either creating touchdowns or giving them the ball in their opponent's territory. And you can't get extra yards after turnovers once you punch it in the end zone. So some of those stats, at least, are somewhat misleading. But this one, in my mind, is going to come down to the Giants' offensive execution. I don't think Minnesota is going to move the ball up and down the field. I don't think the Giants are going to move the ball up and down the field. But if the G-men are going to win this game and or cover this spread, they have to take advantage of their opportunities in the red zone, something they haven't been able to do the first 3 weeks of the season on a consistent basis.
Two other things from me. Coaching edge to the Vikings. I love Zimmer. I'm not high on McAdoo. But you got to be concerned if you're a Vikings fan, you have to be concerned with Blair Walsh, who still has the yips.
And, we talk about these little plays that change momentum. We talked earlier in the show about the Patriots missed field goal. And as soon as they missed a field goal, their comeback wasn't happening. A kicker that misses field goals is just a real deflator. All of a sudden, the opposing team has the momentum and you don't. And football is a momentum swing game. And if all of a sudden you miss a field goal and the other team, boom, they score a couple quick touchdowns, Minnesota is not built to come from behind.
Yep, excellent point there. So we know we're going to go with the play of the day coming up, as we had a 4-1 week. So that's coming up next. And college football weekend recap. My God, it was bananas. We'll run it all down coming up on SportsBit. Betting Insight today on SBRpicks.com.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to SBRpicks.com.